A few message we received about the switching on of the Festive Lights event on the Grand Parade, the annual event, going off without a hitch. It is a favorite of the city of Cape Town, but there are some messages about security officials refusing access to people with Palestinian flags or Palestinian insignia or other flags or any other branding that seemingly in the colours of Palestine. JP Smith, Mayco member for safety and security, joins me now. Was there any directive, JP, good morning, to deny access with people with flags to the event, and where did it come from?
It appears, yes. We were initially not aware of it, but when the first complaints came through, I started engaging the senior management on the city side, and was then informed that the authorized officer, in other words, the most senior SAPS member at the event, who becomes the commander of that venue operations center or the joint operations center, had issued an instruction to the private security guards and to all the enforcement staff that no banners of any kind or flags may be brought onto the into the inner perimeter. In other words, the access controlled area, which then obviously created significant problems when people started arriving with such. The instruction was not aimed, as I understand it, against any particular flag or banner, against all. And my understanding was that there was a concern that people from different groupings or conflicting views would enter the site, and that this would cause a public disorder incident that then would spin out of control. When this was discovered, the mayor, who was on site at the venue, because he's, the one who's switching on the lights, then appealed to SAPS to reverse that position, which the senior official did, and that diffused the conflict at that time.
So a SAPS directive, was this at all discussed at a JOC planning event? The JOC, of course, consists of the city, law enforcement, and the South African police. Was this at all raised before the event?
This was done at the briefing, where the operational staff are briefed, where the senior official then has is then in charge. And I think this is a common misconstrued issue, that people don't understand, that when you deal with public order policing, including these major events, that the senior SAPS member is in charge. When we had the Netball World Cup, the senior person there who was commanding the entire World Cup venue, the CTICC, is a SAPS member. I know. I went to go greet that person on my visits there and go and thank them for their work. There's a senior SAPS member in charge. With every such incident, on the Sea Point Promenade a few weeks, there is a senior SAPS member who makes the call, yes, we use stun grenades, or we don't. The city doesn't even have stun grenades. So it would both there be a SAPS member and a SAPS action. And the public often don't understand this. And it's mostly me who then has to take the brunt of the attacks after that, or criticism of operational decisions, which we are not the source of and not in a position to deflect. But we must support the South African police as best we can. When these crises happen, we must all manage them together. I don't think it was a helpful instruction, and I think it created more conflict than it attempted to prevent. And luckily, the senior SAPS official was willing to reverse the position once the appeal was made.
The conversation around murals have also come up this weekend, and I've seen you've been quoted in a report this morning. This is of an apparent interaction between a resident of the Boekap and law enforcement officials about a mural in the colors or in the design in support of a Palestinian cause. That was apparently, I see you deny that the person was fine, but talk me through that around, obviously, the right to the freedom of expression and association, but also around the design and throwing up of graffiti murals on people's homes on a particular cause. What was behind that particular event, JP?
So the graffiti bylaw was quite clear. If you are going to put up any mural on any property, private or otherwise, you need, firstly, the consent of the property owner, and if that sign or mural is visible, that artwork is visible in the public street or faces the public street, you then need to get approval in terms of the bylaw, regardless of content. That approval will not be unreasonably denied, and there is an approval process. In the case of veteran or experienced mural artists, they even get the right to self-permit. So there is a process in place. There was a complaint received about the mural. No community is homogeneous. Every community has different views. And one of the graffiti unit officers, who is himself Muslim, went out to go and inspect the site and found the graffiti artist in the process of making that mural and advised him that it was not legal, that he needed to apply for the murals, and effectively gave him a verbal warning saying that if it continued, he would have to give him a formal written warning.
So the issue was not the content of the mural?
Tried to diffuse the situation by not finding him. He was absolutely not fined. So that bit of narrative crafting is unfortunately just plain politics. And
so you're saying the problem was not of the content of the mural, but in the application?
Correct. Remember, we deal with illegal murals every day. We remove them in their hordes across the city, tagging, graffiti, murals, however you want to describe them. We remove them in significant numbers every day. That unit goes and paints out thousands of square meters a year of tagging or graffiti, and they don't discriminate against the content. All they care about is has it been appropriately applied for or not, and that's all the officer went to go explain to the artist.
JP Smith, Mayco member for Safety and Security.